And welcome back. We got a legal doozy for you tonight on the docket, the case of a 78-year-old grandmother in Arizona who is suing her city because she got arrested for, you listening? For serving hot meals to the homeless. Let's bring in the host of the Nothing But the Truth podcast, criminal defense attorney Bob Bianchi. Bob, I don't know if you heard that, but I got to show you this video. This is the body cam video of the police officer actually arresting the grandmother, the 78-year-old grandmother, after she fed the homeless.
Watch. This is a PR nightmare, but okay. Here's the bad news. Uh-oh. You're under arrest.
I am?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a PR nightmare because, come on, the grandmother was doing the good thing, and some people think it actually violated her 14th Amendment. Your thoughts, Bob?
Trace, I mean, this cop had it right down. He called supervisors and said, "Are you serious? You want me to arrest this 76-year-old woman who's trying to feed the poor?" And he was told to do it. He luckily didn't put her in handcuffs, but nevertheless, I've done civil rights cases, and as a former prosecutor, it's unbelievable to me that they didn't just issue her a summons if they felt that they needed to do that. But this law specifically targets poor people. They don't have a problem if people are being fed so long as it's not being done for quote-unquote charitable reasons. You couldn't be any clearer that this is to stop a defined class of people from being taken care of. And the bottom line is they ultimately dismissed this case against the woman. And when that happens, pursuant to the 14th Amendment, they can now be sued for false arrest and malicious prosecution. It's a nightmare through and through.
Bob, we could show you dozens of videos of people going into CVS's or whatever stores and grabbing stuff and walking out, and not one of them ever saw the backside of a jail. I want to play the grandmother if I can really quickly, because here's after she got arrested. Watch. Oh, it's a quote. Let me quote. I just finished up serving approximately 26 or 27 people, and the very last person that came through, I literally was scraping the bottom of my pans, finished off the food, gave him, and as he was walking away, these two police officers drove up. It is kind of crazy. Could she sue in return on this, Bob? I got a little bit of time.
Yeah, absolutely. She's going to sue for false arrest, malicious prosecution. She already has, but she's only seeking $1 in damages. So this isn't about money for her. She's going to win this lawsuit even if she loses, because she's trying to make a point. She will win this case, and the law probably will be thrown out as being unconstitutional, Trace.
Next topic, the Fordham University booster shots, right? They are mandating booster shots at Fordham. It's Catholic, it's Jesuit, and they are mandating booster shots. No other university in all of New York City or New York State is doing this. And they did it after school started, Bob, after these kids paid their tuition. They're like, you got to take the booster or you're out. Your thoughts?
Some conflict on the facts from the reporting we have right now, Trace, but it definitely on their website, they talk about the idea that you have to follow the CDC recommendations, and obviously those recommendations change as the disease progresses. So that is going to be their defense to the case. On the other side, the students have maybe a plausible argument, although these cases have been pretty much supported either all the way up to the Supreme Court, that the institutions do have the ability to impose these mandates for the safety. But the one permutation is what you just mentioned. That may not apply if they can prove, the students, that we were told this is what we needed to do, we did it, and now you change the rules in the middle of the game. But I think it's going to be a tough lawsuit for the students.
Did Fordham not get the memo that the vaccine doesn't stop you from getting it or spreading it? And here's the thing that I kind of was looking at, because they say this also applies to visiting athletic teams. And I'm thinking, good luck with that one if nobody else in New York is going by this.
Tracy, there's that famous suit where the Biden administration was sued because they had OSHA making vaccine mandates federal, and the Supreme Court shot that down. But what the Supreme Court also said was that this is a right that's reserved for the states and private institutions to make on their own, and the federal government can't mandate it. So you don't have to be right if that is their opinion. And by the way, they're following CDC recommendations. So no matter whether you agree with those or not, they're on good footing to say we're not just arbitrarily doing this. This is what the CDC is telling us.
And not having me right, Gutfeld has made a cottage industry of that. I mean, it's great stuff, Bob Bianchi. Stand by, if you will, because it is time for a nightcap, and we are going to bring back in Matt Finn, Kelly O'Grady, and Ashley Strohmeyer to talk about some of the worst dining rules you can break. Kelly O'Grady, the new person on the set, you begin.
Oh gosh, there's so many, but I think for me, it's when someone chews with their mouth open and it's really loud, because it's like, I've already seen it plated. I don't need to see it going down.
You know what? But for me, and I'm not going to. I don't want to cast aspersions on a vast crowd of people, but young people, it's kind of a thing. I watch people in restaurants, and for the younger people, it's kind of a thing. I don't know why that is.
Well, I think I've actually been accused of it before, so I am living in a glass house, but I often talk when I eat, but I also find it very annoying.
Ashley Strohmeyer, the thing in a restaurant that drives you crazy.
Okay, so I actually just read this and I've seen it before. It's so disgusting. But they say until you're ready to completely excuse yourself from the table, you're supposed to put your napkin in your seat. So you want me to go to the restroom, come back, and then wipe my face with a napkin that is on a public seat? I'm not doing it. I'm good.
Yeah, and I'm with you. That napkin's going on the table, and that's that. Matt Finn.
Trace, this segment is an opportunity for me to talk about my biggest pet peeve in life.
In
which
life?
is people
not just
eating.
restaurants.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter if you're in a fine dining restaurant,
Copy
at
that.
Chipotle, or on an airplane. It's eating loudly. I think we all agree.
Really?
It's crunching chips, smacking your food. It just goes right through me. I have no patience for it.
You know, your buddies are always doing that, like eating loudly, and doing that. It's just kind of a thing, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
My thing, and I'm going to get to you, Bob, in 1 second, but it drives me crazy. It really doesn't drive me crazy because I'm like Kelly, and I'm glass houses here. It's the whole, when people come in and they order their steak burnt well done, and I can't really complain because my wife and my daughters both like their steak well done. So, and they're very fun to hang out with, so it's good. But it's one of those things where people get angry when you order that. They look at you, the waiter looks at you, everybody gives you kind of a sconce thing. Bob Bianchi, what drives you crazy?
I tell you, it all comes down to one thing I wrote just real quick. Dentures and prosthetics being out on the table, double dipping, eating off another person's plate, drinking out of somebody else's glass, and blowing your nose in a napkin. But it's all about the secretions.
Yeah.
Blowing your nose in the napkin that actually has to leave on the seat while she goes to the bathroom and comes back and not sure exactly what's into it. I just got to wrap this up. I mean, it's one of those things where when you see it, do you ever say anything to anybody, Kelly?
I don't, but my husband certainly does to me. Oh yeah, all the time.
Would you call somebody out, Ashley?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The nose blowing in the napkin. I'm grossed out by the napkins tonight, so.
That's so funny. Matt Finn, would you call somebody out for chomping loudly?
I try not to because everyone eats differently, and I'm not, the master of how someone wants to eat. But sometimes I know certain people to stay away from.
Really?
Truthfully, yeah.
Like here? I don't know. Are you looking around?
Not gonna name
you
any
kind of look
names.
around the thing. Bob Bianchi, would you call somebody out 5 seconds?
If they were doing anything where their saliva is in my food, I'm calling them out.
Oh my gosh, Ashley, Bob, Kelly, Matt, we look like the Brady Bunch. Great to see you all. Thank you for watching America's Late News, Fox News at Night. I'm Trace Gallagher.